Right guys, welcome back. We have our second game for today. It's going to be ARES team on the blue side, and on the red side is going to be Drama Queens. Both their icons are pretty swanky if you ask me. I think the assets that they have and the logos are all pretty top notch. We are into picks and bans right now. As you see, the Akali, Lee Sin and Camille banner on the blue. And on red, it's going to be Zyra, Vayne, and Hecarim. Vayne, no surprise. I was seeing the AD carry for ARES team play it, and she was popping off pretty well in team fights.
Yeah, man, and they first picked the Syndra. I mean, just now you said that Harane picked it to deny. Well, now looks like they're doing the same thing.
It's actually a pretty standard strategy when it comes to picks and bans. Drafting wise, removing opponent picks and claiming them for yourselves is a good way to deal with it. But immediate response is the RE coming in, and this is interesting because traditionally when you're comfortable on a champion, say you're one trick, right? You pretty much know what the counters are and what's a good matchup into it. So no hesitation, instant lock the RE and then follows it up with the Gragas soon after.
Yeah, mid lane's bound to be exciting. We'll see if Syndra in the hands of ARES is going to do better than Syndra in the hands of DQ.
Right now we see the Ezreal immediately locked in. Ezreal's not a champion we've seen all too much in the FSL, Vietnam at least. Ezreal Nami, however, is a pretty sick bot lane, and I think we saw Griffin play this earlier in the week, and they did do extremely well with it. It's a poke sustain lane that transitions into the mid game very well.
Yeah, honestly, Nami is just a really, really good protector and poke as well. I mean, the W, you can just heal and poke, and the E's, I believe, work off the Mystic Shot, so you can give Ezreal that additional power. Fiora secured also for the top lane.
Yeah, Fiora this early on is kind of tricky though, because you never want to show your sort of solo lane split push if you are on red side this early on. Normally what you do is you kind of reserve the matchup for something you're more comfortable with and then find it as a sort of counter pick, right? But to that, I say that Foxy has had, Fox at least has had multiple good games on Fiora yesterday. I think she was a key player in one of their victories, and she's extremely proficient on this Fiora as well.
Well, the last few bans, Jax and Jarvan for the side of DQ and Killin, and one more for the side of, well,
I think you pinch out the AD carry pool here. You ban out Kai'Sa, you ban out Varus. Anything that has a decent matchup with the Ezreal, both those champions are actually very potent into Ezreal. Instead, it's going to be a Lulu ban. So right now, the window is open for them to play something like Kai'Sa Nautilus if they want to. This is a hard counter to Ezreal Nami, and it transitions into team fighting extremely well together with the Gragas. So what you have is options to engage, disengage, and play a 1-4 with Fiora on the side once she gets a lead.
We'll see if they're going to secure that Kai'Sa or the Nautilus. Looks like they're going to opt for Kai'Sa, yeah.
There we go. So saving support is kind of odd in most cases. I would say don't do it. Like, if you can't open pick your support early on, right? So a lot of regions will do that because support pool wise, it's not too 50-50 when it comes to matchups. Like, there's no sure win, sure lose matchup. You can pick most things and still scale pretty well into the game. In this case, I think it's a drafting option. I don't feel like it's bad. It's just a personal team choice, perhaps. But in this case, they're looking for a Renekton on the top side to deal with the Fiora. Not the best matchup for Renekton, if you ask me. It's actually pretty even. You more commonly see the Renekton go into Camille. Against Fiora, you'd want something with a bit more range to harass her out. So maybe an attack damage cannon would have been a better choice here in the top lane.
I mean, Fiora can parry the Renekton stun, so if she can time it well, just basically block all of his damage combo. That won't be really good for Renekton, but we'll just see. I guess it goes down to skill. Sinjao is the last pickup that will go into the jungle for the side of ARES.
So the good news, Leona. Leona's actually a good choice here. But Bimu did have some very bad missteps on the Leona yesterday, so I would have preferred the Nautilus instead. And I think that's definitely the best choice coming in. It's not even a surprise if they opt for the Nautilus, but instead it's going to be Leona. And this might come back to hurt them later on. We'll talk about it if it does happen. But to look through the compositions on both sides, right now though, the ARES team ladies have a very strong mid-top 2v2 with their jungler.
That's right.
If Renekton and Sinjao ever get a gank off, if Syndra Sinjao get a gank off, it's very simple for them to convert. Like, it's almost a guaranteed conversion if they want to force a kill. So that's where the Sinjao's going to be playing, mid-top. On the opposite side, Gragas just wants to match the ganks. He doesn't want to force anything all too much. Allow bot lane to play more aggressively and safeguard mid and bot a bit more and let the Fiora soak the pressure. So if you're Gragas, you kind of just wait in the wings, wait for the Sinjao to force the fight, then you come in with the belly slam, with the the Qs and try to top up the damage on top of that.
I mean, Ari, on top of that, has the defensive Spirit Rush in case anything happens post 6. So if Syndra can't burst it down instantly, I mean, at least she can get out of that one. Has the barrier as well.
And this is 9.14, right? So make no mistake, you can charm Syndra out of the audacious charge.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So the changes to the patch has made it such that any dash, as long as charm connects, will remove them from animation. So against Syndra, it's actually really good. You can kind of counter gank even better if you're Gragas in that case.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that through Renekton as well if that happens late game. Syndra opted for the cleanse for that charm though, so they're not going to be falling in love anytime soon in mid lane.
Yeah, I think the cleanse is more of like, if anything, it's a respecting. You kind of take the cleanse just in case they decide to cheese you early on, and it also helps mitigate the kill potential of the Leona. At level 6, a roaming Leona will almost certainly kill Syndra because she has no mobility. Solar Flare to the face into a charm is instant GG. So if you can Captain Jack cleanse the Solar Flare, you buy a bit more time and increase your survival rate significantly.
It's true. I mean, maybe looking to see if Leona can do any of these roams to mid. I mean, you mentioned level 6 Leona roams, very strong. Just imagine if you're Syndra and Leona and Gragas come out, oh boy.
Level 6 in bot lane is very strong for them as well. You have the name of the game is mobility. Against Leona, it's all about mobility. Whether you can dodge around her engage tools as well as dodge around her ultimate, right? So if Solar Flare hits Nami square on the face, well, she's done. Like, you don't have to play the game anymore.
Cooked fish, just done.
Instant grey screen, because the way this Kai'Sa Leona or Kai'Sa Knowledge matchup works is that every time you apply a stack of crowd control, you get a plasma stack on Kai'Sa, right? So Q, E are both immobilizing spells. So is the ultimate, right?
Yeah, the ultimate. So pretty much Leona can just get 3 stacks and then just one W from Kai'Sa and
3 stacks. So what you normally do is the full combo is you get 3 stacks. Kai'Sa will either kill Instinct over or auto attack if she's in range to get the 4th, then use the Void Seeker. Because the Void Seeker damage scales with the amount of stacks on the person, right? So you almost get an instant execute on an army if you land all those, including the Ignite.
Exactly, and even Kai'Sa's just got a Q also to be safe.
Just for good measure, right? Like icing on top of the cake.
Exactly. So bot lane, pretty scary combos, but what can Ezreal and Nami do to respond to that?
You just sit under turret and you Mystic Shot the wave. Like, this is the worst matchup because it's supposed to be a sustained poke lane, right? It's really good into something like Caitlyn Lulu. It's good into things like Vayne Thresh, things that want to all in you but don't necessarily have the tools to do so. Like very sort of unreliable all-ins. Ezreal Nami is great at that. Ezreal just stands in front, soaks the aggression, and if anything, he arcane shifts out. Meanwhile, Nami's just going to be healing him up, giving him the Tycon's blessing so he can proc his Qs, and then you farm off the wave and Mystic Shots. That's how you kind of scale. But against Kai'Sa Leona, when everything is so reliable for them, like flash Q from Leona, you die, right? It's really tough matchup for them.
Yeah, I mean, we saw just how early they were picked in the draft though, so I'm quite sure the ARES has some form of plan considering that they wanted to show their bot lane so early on.
Yeah, it's really greedy for them to show like the Ezreal Nami this early on. It has to be almost a certain counter pick for them, comfort pick for them rather.
Yeah, comfort pick.
The previous game though, AD Carry did have mechanical skills that were to a certain extent impressive.
I see.
I think if you're playing against this bot lane, you do need that certain bar of mechanical skill, right? And the previous game was a Vayne, kited pretty well, positioned decently in fights. We'll have to see how she does on Ezreal this time.
Well, in DQ's previous game, it was their bot lane that was the weak link with the Caitlyn falling behind. So we'll see if that can, become a problem for them.
Because this is DQ's composition is quite low damage if you think about it. They have Kai'Sa, Ahri, and Fiora. Fiora doesn't actually contribute much in fights. Contrary to popular belief, she's almost useless in 5v5s.
She's a split pushing.
Yeah, she's a split pushing monster. She doesn't do 5v5s well because of all the CC that can peel her off.
That's true.
Ahri, if she goes for electrocute damage, sure, she might have some potential to add onto the team fight ability of the team. But if she goes for this Glacial Augment, well, it's going to be a different story, right? But we can see now that she did go for the Electrocute, so that does allow DQ to sort of shift the damage responsibility a bit over to her as well. Otherwise, it would have been 100% on the Kai'Sa. Right now, it's sort of like a 60-40. 60% Kai'Sa in the team fights, and 40% Ahri in the team fights.
Yep, and we are on Summoner's Rift as we see ARES going up against Drama Queens. in this losers bracket. And we instantly get ourselves a pause.
Good timing though, because I can talk about this cheese that they're trying to pull off.
Alright, go for it.
I love the positioning coming here because you know you have the Leona, you know you have the Ari, and you have the Kai'Sa just stacked up together. So what this allows you to do is actually apply stacks of plasma very quickly when you're invading,
Yeah.
actually find a cheese pick early on.
Nope, the pause is ended. Let's see if they find that pick that you were talking about. Now, I also want to talk about, like, just now you mentioned the low damage. Kai'Sa is pretty heavy on that magic damage, and so they're kind of lacking in terms of physical damage, right?
They could opt to go physical if Kai'Sa does something like a mana immune build, which she probably will, going up against Ezreal. I don't advocate mana immune. Hold on, here, invade coming in.
Ooh, yep, might just find that pick. Sinjar's gonna walk away, just get poked by the Mystic Shot on the Gragas, getting Ezreal that 5 gold Kleptomancy. It's worth now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a value play, but this should reveal to ARES team that there was some shenanigans going on, so they have to be careful about this starting path. DQ, however, will have full information of the jungle start. They should know that Sinjar is starting bot side after seeing him in that brush. Back to my earlier point about itemization.
Yep.
Normally, Kai'Sa players should optimally go for Stormrazor, but against Ezreal, who wants to stack his own mana immune, you actually have a window to sort of play matchup with him.
That's true.
And your power spike with mana immune is actually much higher than Ezreal. So in this case, mana immune is physical damage. It helps you supplement your team's overall output, and it allows you to scale pretty well against the Ezreal.
Alright, and we move ourselves into the start of the game. Generally, looks to be fairly even, except in mid lane where Syndra's taken a bunch of poke from the Ahri. I think he dodged down the Optic Deception. Bot lane Leona taking some from the Nami as well.
Notice that Syndra did go for Arcane Comet. We were talking about this in the previous game, right?
Poke.
Electrocute is the all-in pick. Comet is the poke pick. And in this case, she knows that this is a bad matchup. There's no way I'm going to find a full all-in. So I'm just going to try and take Arcane Comet, lose the matchup gracefully, and poke her out of lane so I can still maintain some semblance of control.
That's a very good strategy. Kai'Sa actually getting pushed on, but a flash, and look at that, Plasma Stacks 3 not able to find any more at the moment though, but Ezreal just arcane shifting straight in. Isn't he going to be able to find the damage? No, now Leona's the one who's slapping him and forced to flash out as well. A very big trade in the bot lane. Fairly even blinking red health bars on all sides.
So the mistake there is twofold. First things first, wrong keystone on the Kai'Sa.
Oh wait, hold that, because Leona just went in and solo killed the Nami. First blood.
Okay, that was a decent play. Like, that's a good Leona play. You see the ability to get the solo kill. You just all in supportal combat, get the early advantage for your team. But in that skirmish, the mistake was actually much worse than it could have been, because she was on fleet footwork. Kai'Sa wasn't able to output enough damage, and because the coordination wasn't there, you could see Leona went in, her buddy didn't.
All that because a gang's coming in top lane. Gragas is here. Ooh, good flash. Body slam. Unable to predict that one. Gragas did have the flash to follow, but chose not to. Sinjar's showing up at top as well. So Renekton's just gonna pop that flash and walk out alive for now.
Great attempt on the top side. You burn a summoner spell. That's a window for you to re-gank the lane, and I like the decision making coming in from the Gragas. Remember how I was talking about Sinjar should focus top side? Knowing that their bot lane is almost certainly going to get hit by themselves, she shifts her attention to the top half of the map.
Yeah, but Sinjar's still hanging around though. Parry was used, meaning that Renekton will be able to find a stun if he had the flash, but that was blown earlier, so he was able to walk out of that one alive.
Recalling now is the bot lane of ARES team. Oh, hold on. Cheeky roam coming in the mid lane. She's level 3, so Zenith Blade is up, and so is the Shield of Daybreak.
Yep, 3 men in the mid lane, but Syndra with the cleanse. Ooh, flashed on by Gragas, but the follow-up not exactly there. A flash away from Syndra. So flash for flash in mid lane, but Syndra now very vulnerable.
Yeah, pay attention to the timings as well, because this forces the Syndra player to back off and play a bit more defensively. Of course, we can't really see on the mini-map, but in terms of items, 21 CS is not going to get you far. You only get a Sapphire Crystal and boots, and you normally, ideally, want to back off when you can afford the Lost Chapter. So now, Ahri is in control of this lane. She can decide when she wants to recall, and now she should be able to get a Lost Chapter.
Yep, pretty much Xin gonna walk into the mid lane, absorb that farm that Syndra is missing out on. As Ahri recalls, unable to complete the Lost Chapter as well, but does have an additional amplifying tome over the Syndra.
Bot lane has this space very carefully. The range of the Zenith Blade is deceptively long. So you can see Ari is playing behind the Ezreal because the AD carry is the one with the escape tools.
Ooh, top lane. Focus from the Gragas. Just gonna walk into the lane. Just help him out. Show a little dominance. Flex on the Renekton a bit. Syndra roaming to the bot side as with Xin Zhao. Both Xin Zhao and Syndra hanging around. Ari ability to free farm in mid. The farm difference is starting to increase.
The idea behind that roam was actually really good. They knew there was a huge build-up of pressure on the bot side, so they had to kind of format it to alleviate the pressure. Now, considering that they haven't appeared back in mid lane, there is this degree of concern on DQS's side. They're like, well, we can't really play aggressively, we can't go for the all-ins, so we have to be a bit more careful in terms of being aware of where the mid and jungle is. Now that they've all shown in the mid lane at least, this gives them a small window to sort of reset a little bit more.
Yeah. Xin gonna secure that. Krugs looking to find his level 6 pretty soon. Gragas a little behind that. Still on level 4.
That's due to losing 3 camps, I believe, in the jungle. You can see 36 to 28 now, so well, rather 2 camps away from the Xin Zhao, who has did multiple clears before the Gragas. That being said, the items coming in are more efficient on the Gragas' side. He has Predator Boots already and a Chilling Smite.
That's right. Xin Zhao has not recalled actually. That's probably why the
of course
need is there. Yeah. Blue buffs. The first buffs, I mean, coming back up. Blue buff on Gragas' side and red buff on Xin Zhao's side. Level 6 being hit in both top lane, for both top laners, I mean, and both ultimates being used instantly. Blade Dance being used. It is popped. But Dominus is so strong as well. Just the healing though from the Fiora, and then it's a solo kill in the top lane.
Like I said, this is a skill matchup, and in that trade you could see that the Fiora hit all the procs of the Grand Challenge, and that wasn't enough for her to get the heal down. She was kiting around. You could see when she was at half health, she's like, well, I could probably go back in for the trade, and did that she go in? She did.
Yeah, all that because Leonas just jumped straight in. A lot of damage, but the plasma stacks were not procced, and a teleport coming in from the Renekton will show up, will stun the Leona, and surely will fall as you're picking up 1 kill.
Predator Boots being used by the Gragas to dissuade the further chase onto the AD carry, but that's what we're talking about, right? The reason. Oh, hold on, mid lane.
Oh, in mid lane, Charm missing, but Ari still flying in and doing so much damage, dropping Syndra below half. One more Charm later on might just spell her death.
Turning their sights over to the dragon, this is a smart play because you already commit the teleport to the bottom half. You found a kill, now you need to get a bit more of a bonus objective for yourself. And a Mountain Drake is always good.
If you are going to reply with some turret plates in the top side, I believe you might get 2 or 3. Renekton's going to recall now.
But like we were saying, the way ARES team played that bot engage was perfect. Ezreal always stands in front to eat the Zenith Blade so that he can E out of danger if it's overcommitment. And because DQS did overcommit, they tried to go for the kill. The teleport in response was perfect for them to secure the counterplay.
That's right, because then Ezreal gets himself a kill, and that means that he can translate into a Sheen as well as a Tear. So he's going to start doing more damage now. Kai'Sa did not opt for the Mana Immune, just gone straight for that BF sword, so Stormrazor.
Yeah, Stormrazor seems to be an option here. Not necessarily the worst because it's slightly more expensive, it's not as cost efficient, but it is a definitely stronger power spike. You don't go through that period of power trough as you would with the Mana Immune.
That's right, and on the other side, Lost Chapter being picked up by both Syndra and Ari. Ari with a 20 CS lead over the Syndra thanks to her roaming and of course the overall power of the Ari. We saw just now forcing the Syndra out of the lane, using that ultimate to put down a lot of damage. Syndra definitely has to respect that.
We haven't seen the Gragas in a while. You kind of know that Predator Boots are on cooldown because he used it in the bot side, so you have to respect the fact that Gragas is definitely level 6, can look to hit your lanes, and everyone's playing a bit more reserved now because they don't know how, or rather which camp the Gragas is in.
Predator Boots are back up for the Gragas. He is recalling, probably going to make a buy and then look for some place to gank. Meanwhile, in the bot side, you see the pressure is actually different now, with Ezreal and Nami pushing themselves up against this Leona.
Oh, this is so good. He's already set up the counter gank. He's already matching the gank timing coming in.
And he actually goes in first. So much damage on the Renekton. Just goes down instantly. And now Xin Zhao's here alone. Where is the Renekton? He's dead. And Ari is coming down as well. Spirit Rush. Charm doesn't land. Doesn't even matter. And Ari will pick up a kill as well.
Great timing coming in from the Gragas. Like I said, you have to play a bit more aware of the... You have to be a bit more aware of the Gragas and respect the gank timing coming in. Especially knowing that the Prayer Boots might have been up there.
Yep, that's right. Gragas, because of that, they might just find themselves a top tower in the bot lane. Meanwhile, Kai'Sa picking up a kill in the all-in. Ezreal will not be able to find any reply. Leona just blocking those mystic shots.
We were talking about this level 6 Leona all-in potential is so strong. You have to respect the fact that Solar Flare can just isolate the Nami because she has no mobility. Yes, she burned her flash, but overall, they're still gonna find a kill in the bottom half.
Yep, a little bit of a unwanted dive there. Gragas showing up, but deciding not to go for it. Fiora with no mana. Attempted sidestep by Heronade, but it does not actually sidestep, and therefore is forced to flash. No Spirit Rush available means that Ari's gonna be vulnerable for a while now.
Yeah, she used the Spirit Rush on the top side to get the kill on the Xin Zhao. And she did not sidestep to scare the meat, so that's like a misplay coming in. When she saw this Xin Zhao moving into the mid lane, instant flash means she gets to keep her life.
Yeah, but loses a flash for that 5 minutes. Flashless. Pretty scary. Ezreal just walking straight up to try to stop that recall. That might be a bit of a mistake on his part. So much damage, but the Kai'Sa dropping rather low as well. I don't know if you're going to be able to find the damage. Kai'Sa picking up one kill, but now there's a very tanky Leona straight in the face of this Ezreal. Zenith Blade in. Support combat. Oh, makes it out alive. Is there a Void Seeker from the Kai'Sa? Just use the Q for the mana, so not going to have any for that.
Yeah, she overcommitted a little bit there using the Tidal Wave to disengage. I think the instant play should have been just to flash out and sacrifice the Nami, but overall they still trade 1 for 0. Oops, True Shot Barrage not gonna find anything yet. Oh, second earlier we would have gotten someone.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, so much damage from that True Shot Barrage now that it goes through minions and doesn't... I mean, now that it doesn't lose damage and goes through minions, so...
Once again though, bot lane level 6, ARES team not respecting the lane dynamics shifting. Before that, they could still leave the Ezreal up in front and Arcane Shift away, but now at level 6, Solar Flare is a death sentence to the Nami. Yeah, you have to be very careful how you space. I think if you're ARES team right now, you call 2 members down to reply the aggression, or you try to end the laning phase as soon as possible.
I mean, 3 CCs on Leona, that's just so strong against Nami, really. We talked earlier about how they can just apply the stacks of plasma so easily, and we saw earlier just getting destroyed.
Predator dive.
Predator, yep. Ooh, missing the explosive cast, but that doesn't even matter because Renekton just disappears. Dominus just means nothing. First tower over to DQ.
Yeah, Solar Flare's up. He's looking for the gank in the mid lane. He's sitting on a control ward, walking up though.
Yep. Syndra still has Flash and Cleanse, so not gonna be able to find that gank so easily. Xin Zhao opting to recall.
Let's take a stock of the goal difference in the top lane because it is massive. It's 2.5k in favor of the Fiora. And like I was saying, this is a skill matchup. Whoever gets the earlier kill is definitely going to be able to snowball. In that 1v1, there was a non-external influence 1v1. The Fiora got the kill. Now she's way too far ahead, especially with the plates. And the 1-4 from DQS is actually going to be extremely potent in the mid game.
Yeah, I mean, look at the goal difference. Really, 2,000 ahead. It's like nearly one entire item. It's pretty ridiculous. Over on the other side, mid lane as well, 1,000 ahead for Ari compared to Syndra, who are both in fact making roams down. But Leona jumping straight in. Ezreal already dropped so low, but now Leona's in a spot of trouble alone with 4 people. Killer Instinct straight in from the Kai'Sa. What is going on? A shutdown over to Syndra might solve a bit of her gold issues.
Overall, they trade 1 for 0, and that's what I was talking about, right? Call 2 members down, reply the aggression with the numbers, and make the opponents respect the fact that they can't keep all in you for no reason.
I think it was a bit of a misplay on the Kai'Sa. I mean, she really just Killer Instinct straight into 4 people, just didn't even have like the evolved stealth to help herself get a better position after that, so she just
that was like
went into her death.
A lane buddy move, because if they killed the Leona, they would have most certainly jumped on the Kai'Sa next. So she offered herself up as sacrifice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's how I see it at least.
Okay, fair enough.
Gold has been opened up to a 5k lead in favor of DQS. The Drama Queen's looking extremely strong. in the past 2 days of games so far.
That's right, and Rift Herald being picked up as well on the Fiora. Such a threat in the side lane.
Yep.
Because Renekton is 2 entire levels down. Not to mention the items. In fact, 1 Tiamat to a Ravenous Hydra and a Black Cleaver. That's really, really big.
So this split pushing is only going to get worse as the items come in. I think she should be looking for a Trinity Force here on the Fiora, because I think Black Cleaver makes no sense. You already do a certain amount of percentage damage with your Fido procs. So the moment she gets her Sheen, right, that's side lanes dropping like flies.
Pretty much can just push that tower and push the Renekton so fast. And in bot lane now, just body slam straight through the wall from Gragas. Not going to connect anything. But Solar Flare is up, and Nami does have a flash to get out of that one. But
they can't force anything though. The RE isn't there, so there's no mid priority. This is going to be a 4v3 again if they look to dive.
But look at the top lane. This Fiora split push threat is going... It's so strong at the moment. Just gonna push up those waves, keep the pressure on, holding on to that Herald.
This is actually a really good position to be in if you are playing a 1-4, because it's almost daring the jungler in mid lane to come and find you and punish you, right?
Yeah.
The moment they do, they lose the bot lane turret, they lose the dragon, and they might just lose bot tier 2, as long depending on how many people they send up. Fiora can play up this far as long as she has the Rift Herald.
They might just lose the dragon anyway because it's already been started, dropping down to 2k, and looks like there's no vision on it, so it's going to be a dragon for the Drama Queens.
Yeah, so look at the map. The moment the dragon is gone, Fiora pops out back into the lane, pressures it out, and it's almost like a game of push and pull. If you come and gank the Fiora, you lose objectives. If you don't, she's just going to get chip damage on your top tier 2.
That's right, and forget chip damage. I mean, she has the Rift Herald, so might just get that tower entirely soon. Just gonna walk in, place a couple of wards probably in the bush, might even steal away some of this jungle. A very tempting blue buff, it's just gonna start it up. Xin Zhao is around though.
Now some people might be wondering, why isn't Fiora using the Rift Herald when she's split pushing on the top side? The reason is twofold. One is that there's always the offset hold on here.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a fight, a 2v2 as Ari walks in, finds the charm on the Renekton. So much damage. Renekton just going down once again, and now Xin Zhao's left in no man's land. Will fall as well. Will that be a return kill? No Syndra's. In fact, explosive cast straight in. Trusa Barrage does not land either, and 2 kills for the Fiora. A 3 for nothing. Fiora just popping off, and there's the Rift Herald.
So I was going to explain the reason why she's holding the Rift Herald is because they want to make a play in the top side, hold on bot lane.
Flash is being forced. Leona's still trying to find her way in Zenith Blade. Its range is long, but not that long.
They wanted to force something a bit greedy there, but you get all summoner spells off the Nami and Ezreal, which is a win in my books. But like I was saying, topside, the reason she held on to the Rift Herald was because she wanted to make a play. It's super foolish if you just drop it for no reason and the Renekton can clear it. Now you get 2 charges after controlling the top half of the map. You can actually rotate over, send a Fiora to the bot side, and have a ridiculous amount of pressure on Baron and play the mid lane once it's up.
That's right, I mean, start pushing that bot lane. There are still juicy towers, in fact, but it doesn't even matter because Fresh is going to stand in there and just poke out this Renekton so much. He's opting for a Shojin first, still hasn't even completed it. Fiora 4-0 and 3, I can only imagine how much gold that she has in her pocket. Probably going to be and get a Triforce.
Shojin actually changes the dynamic a bit. It makes it more palatable for Renekton to play the 1v1. However, he's still sorely lacking hold on him.
Oh boy, Leona just going in for another solo kill. Just gonna find that on the Nami. But is in no man's land now. Gonna drop really low, knocked up, first kill down, teleport in. It's gonna be that very strong Fiora coming in just to push the lane, but Spirit Rush from Ari. Charm does not land because of the Arcane Shift from Ezreal. But still showing a lot of pressure down at the bot lane.
They overcommit to try and get the kill, but they should be able to look for the bot tier 1 here. They're just sitting around sieging up. Now they should be resetting. So I think overall that play from Leona was good. The teleports ensuingly, not so much. Have to be careful with their positioning here as they might get caught out. So the lane assignments now should be Leona and Kaisa in the mid lane or Ari in the mid lane, and you play this sort of game where you pull people to the bot lane and force the Baron after that.
That's right, I mean, Baron's coming up in about 30 seconds. I mean, honestly, this Leona's just been on fire. Look at this. Those 2 kills that she has are solo kills on that Nami, really. Just out supporting in general. Nami, 0-4 and 3, Still hasn't completed any support items yet. Holding on to 2 forbidden items, and look at this. This Leona just gonna find that Nami once again. Just destroyed. Explosive cast wasn't even needed for that one, honestly. Thrown after it was dead. Leona just finding pick after pick on this Nami.
You see the window here of opportunity. They find a Nami in the open and they immediately capitalize. Small space for them to just navigate into the mid lane now and start sieging mid tier 1 to open up the map. But instead they say, no, I want the Ezreal. Looking for the kills, but I'm gonna back off.
Yeah, I mean, Leona's just there. Oh, look at that charm. So much damage. That combo of the Ari, but she has no way out, I believe. Just look at that Spirit Rush, actually, is a way out. Leona's gonna pay for this with her life, though.
It's a good support right there, dying for your sins.
That's right, I mean, dying for the sins of the mid laners, just standing there. Spirit Rush, but then again, look at that top lane. Fiora's gotten that inhibitor turret.
This is what we're talking about, right? You pull the pressure down to the bot half and allow the rest of the team to open up. In my example, it would have been Fiora that's pulling the pressure, but in this case, they send 3 members down. I would have preferred if the Fiora was the one pulling the pressure, because then at least 3 members can take the top inhibitor. In this case, you barely get anything, you just get the turret open. Still good. It's still good. You get the window of opportunity to move in the next push and secure the inhibitor for yourself if you can.
Well, Ezreal's gonna find a little bit of a reply in the bot lane, taking the finally ARES getting 1 tower back from themselves. Now Ezreal's still in this though. 2 items, 3, 0, and 1 with the mana mune, the mana mune. Yeah, it's not more mana yet, and the Iceborne Gauntlet as well. Still fairly even on the bot side, looking for that Luden's Echo next.
You have to remember that as the Ezreal is scaling up, so is the Kai'Sa, right?
It's true also.
The power point of the Kai'Sa is so much further than the Ezreal. The more you get 3 evolves, Ezreal cannot even team fight against you, much less in the side lane. And I think ARES team are all but done here.
All but done. So, DQ, what are the lose conditions now?
To be honest, I think if you can somehow turn this 1v1 in favor of the Renekton against the Fiora, that opens up the avenue for victory. The dynamics of this lane change now that the Spear of Shojin has been picked up. He needs Executioner's Calling though.
Yeah, that's right. So much healing from the Fiora with the Hydra and the Triforce as well. Look at that, Fiora. She doesn't even care. She's just gonna stand right there with 4 people around her. Just watch Ezreal take away that blue buff and move back in and continue again. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Ari and Dragon is gonna look to put some damage onto the turret.
I don't like that they're playing bot side so heavily. Like, there is no reason for them to stick 3-4 members in the bot half to try and get the kills, because
Baron is up.
a single Fiora would draw the same amount of aggression, and they can get Baron after that. You know, this is a Kai'Sa that's already gotten the Guinsoo's. She chips damage so quickly on Baron because of the percentage health missing.
Whoa, look at that. Leona flying straight in, but no follow-up from her team. Means they're just gonna get an inner turret for that. Meanwhile, Fiora's just gonna clear up that inhibitor. I'm quite sure there's no way Renekton's gonna be able to defend this one alone. Just standing around half health.
Not exactly the textbook play that I was looking for, but because she's so far ahead, look at the goal difference, it's 3.3k. She literally just walks up and sieges your base. That's a free, like 2.3k is a trainee of course.
But hold on, because it looks like Xin Zhao might die. No, actually his ultimate keeps him alive on that. The ignite damage doesn't go through, I believe.
I think it was the heal from the Nami as well.
Oh yeah, the heal from the Nami as well, helping out. Greg is gonna take a bit of poke damage and go out, but that's another inner turret going down. And look at ARES' team, their base is now the only turrets that are left.
So here you reset, you send the Fiora to the bot lane, her teleport is going to be up in 30 seconds, and then you play the mid-push Baron pressure. You have enough tools in your arsenal to actually turn.
But actually, Ezreal's just gonna step far forward, ease in, uses the Arcane Shift, but spots out instantly Ari and Kai'Sa, and that's not exactly what you want to Arcane Shift yourself into. A really big overstep there. I mean, your base is the only thing that's left, and you have no vision. You want to walk so far up to farm. I don't know what's going on, man.
Sometimes I feel like my analysis is not needed when players do that. Like, you overstep and you Arcane Shift into the enemy team. It's like, well, yeah, I think there's no reason for me to give any input here. But I will try my best to explain the textbook play here. If you want to play this the proper way, you set up the Baron play and you have enough tools to turn on the enemy if they come and check you, because you have Leona as well as Ari, which are both extremely mobile, extremely good at picking members off, and the rest of your team can actually follow up pretty well. Killer Instinct as well as Predator Boots let you get in range to supplement the damage. So Baron play or Baron take into a immediate turn would be the best strategy for DQS here.
And they do establish vision control over at the Baron pit, but meanwhile Fiora's just going to smash this Renekton, uses that slice, doesn't have the dice. It's probably gonna fall. Pulp's Dominus just for a little bit of health to stay alive. Maybe we'll try to use the Spear of Shojin, not even able to find another stun, and just goes down to the Fiora. Solo kills 0, 5, and 2.
Yeah, this is a GG here because Fiora is that fed. Like, the only reason you beat her in a 1v1 in the side lane if you're Renekton is if she DCs, right? Like, her phone rings or something and she DCs, then you get the 1v1 because there's no way you're beating this Fiora in the side.
And because of that, they get the Baron, and now Fiora with the Baron buff in the side lane. Honestly, really, I don't think anything can stop this.
She should be able to just apply the pressure and drag the wave in with the Baron buff. Buy some space for her team to collapse with the wave as well. The recall was just a bait, right? So what you do here is you just hold on to the Baron buff and let the wave shove in. As we all know, with Baron buff, minions walk that much quicker.
Yep, exactly. And they have the cannon also to slowly chip away that tower. It's doing a bit of damage.
Look at the mini-map. Gragas was escorting the wave in as well, and the media all in on the Ezreal.
I just blinked and Ezreal just went down instantly. Meanwhile, this fight's all over the map. Renekton's just unable to do anything. Nami falling as well. Syndra is the last one alive. Will get auto attack down. Plasma stacks means that he will go down to the missiles from the Kai'Sa. And I believe that's everyone. Yep, that's an ace from the side of DQ. A very, very strong showing. 4-19 for them. Huge leads. Huge leads all over the place.
I think if you're playing against DQS right now, you immediately ban the Fiora.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't give the Syndra to Hirine, and you don't give Foxy her Fiora. That's the two conditions I think that are going to lose you the game. So right now, anyone watching, those are the two champions that you have to remove from the pool if you want to keep competitive. And I think moving forward, teams will have to take note of that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hirine had a very good showing on Ahri as well.
Yeah.
So, might even need to take that one away, who knows.
This team looks extremely solid moving forward in the losers bracket. Dropping to the loser bracket in the first place is a bit unfortunate. I think they went down to Box Ladies, who are currently in the finals. So there's every opportunity that this might just be the final match for today in the best of 3.
Yeah, but now they're gonna go up against Ravenclaw, I believe. And the winner of that will go against Box Ladies.
So, fun fact, if I remember correctly, Ravenclaw is a team that's been together for quite a while. They used to play under the brand FFQ Lo-Fi, and I was talking to Chufan about this. FFQ is actually a team in the VCSA. It's like QTV's team, right? It's a brand. And so this all-female team used to play under them, and now they've sort of dropped the sponsor. They're playing together as Ravenclaw.
I see.
And they will be playing the next match against Drama Queens.
Well, looks like that's going to be pretty exciting, so stay tuned for that. We'll be going for a break now.